So, with that being said, we're going to jump into today's craft.
Let's do it, because this is going to take a minute to cut.
Yes, it is. It's not like a super hard, these projects are not super hard, but the good thing about them is that these cards can be used any time of the year. We've got tons of different files linked below for you guys, as well as more on our website. But let's go over ahead and I'm going to show you all which one we're going to be making today. So we're actually going to be cutting out this one. Okay, very pretty. It says love. It's got these super fine details here cut out of paper. And I'm going to give you all some tips and tricks on how to get the best cuts, like what kind of paper to use, what kind of blade, and all that. So here's some more examples. As you can see, the color options are endless, but the good thing about these, and what we really want to stress to you all, is that you can, with your Cricut, make things like this ahead so that you're not trying to rush and trying to find a birthday card or find a Mother's Day card, or maybe not a Mother's Day card. That one, you don't put those on the back burner. Those are important, but you know what I'm saying. There's times in your life where you need to grab a card quickly, and it's good to just have some ready. And so that's what we're going to be doing today, but we're going to be working with this love card. So let's start off with just card making in general and what types of supplies are going to work best for you. So one of our favorite people here on the YouTube channel is Ashley Falco, and she makes this amazing paper cardstock. Her brand is Celebration Warehouse. So if you ever hear that, that is Ashley Falco's store, what do I want to call it, brand.
Yeah.
Her paper is incredible. She is a paper crafter through and through. Well, I will say through and through, but she's getting really deep into the laser world too. But she started with paper crafting and has done so good. So she knows exactly what type of paper that you want. So this is just some of the solid colors that you can use. We also have glitter colors here if you want to do glitter. Now for these intricate cuts, these more intricate cuts, something like this, you will not catch me cutting out of glitter.
No.
And the reason is because whenever you cut glitter cardstock, whenever you cut with the glitter cardstock cut setting, this is one of the reasons. It does 2 passes, and sometimes on that second pass, if you're working with fine line designs like this, it gets caught up. It's like a hot mess, okay? So I would recommend glitter for the insides of your card. So like this part could be glitter, like this would be white, and it would be glitter here and glitter here, because the backs of the cardstock is just solid. You could do that, but I would not recommend doing this for the actual design. So we may use one of these just so you guys can kind of get a good visual, and I think it would be pretty to use a glitter base. But you're gonna wanna get some good cardstock. If you, for some reason, cannot get your hands on Ashley Falco's Celebration Warehouse brand, which I do have linked in the description, you can get Recollections from Hobby Lobby, which is pretty good, not as good. Won't even lie to you guys. This paper is significantly better than any of the other cardstocks we use. Not to mention her glitter is shed free. So those are some options for you guys. I think that the specific type of paper that you use on paper crafting is so important. And if you're using low quality paper, honestly, whenever I first started paper crafting, I was like, it can't be that serious.
Like paper is paper, right?
Yeah, I'm like, it's just paper, but it's really not. There's so much science that goes into these, you guys would not believe. And that's why we always just stand on Celebration Warehouse, because like she's done the research and she knows her stuff. And so we swear by it. Anyways, that's my spiel on paper. It is important though what kind of paper you're using, especially when you're cutting fine line designs like this. You will need a light grit mat or a well-loved standard grit mat, which is what we have here. So it's not as sticky as it normally would be, especially when you're working with delicate little dainty details like these things right here. They're all gonna rip if you're using a mat that is too sticky, okay? Whenever you go to pull it off after it's been cut, it's gonna rip and it's just not gonna look good, you know? And then I've got some glues here. Now, adhesives are a big thing in paper crafting world, and everybody kind of finds their favorite thing. So I'm gonna show you guys some of our favorites right now. The Zig pen, this is like an oldie but a goodie. This is just a good solid way to get adhesive into small areas. It has a chisel tip, but they also have fine tip options. Let me hold that up. They also have like fine chisel tip and fine point. They've got different ones, but they work like a paint marker. So you just shake them up. You can kind of bounce them on like a paper towel. Here, I've got some paper. you can kind of push, and then I like to bounce the pen. A lot of times people like jam it, but that'll mess your tip up. So always just bounce it, and I recommend this for paint markers as well. And then once it starts to come out, you see the glue's coming out. You can kind of roll it on its side to get that excess off, and then it works really smoothly. So that's how I use these pens as well as paint markers. Fun little hack there for you. And then what is this? Am I throwing something important away?
I don't know. I can't see it.
It's our logins.
Oh, okay.
We'll just let that dry. We'll just let that dry. And then some other types of adhesives are the Super Tight Precision Craft Glue. Now these are really helpful because they're super fine line, and I love these lids because they go directly inside of the hole that administers the glue. So like this lid has a little peg right here, and you can put it right there, and so it doesn't get clogged. A lot of times with these fine tip glues, they get so clogged, but look how thin this comes out. It does take a second. Whew. But honestly, I probably need to get it primed for what we're about to do. Anyway, so you gotta squeeze, 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 and then it'll start coming out. Well, I say that now when I'm trying to show you guys and it doesn't wanna come out. But you can always take a pen, oops, I think it was clogged, and unclog these. That's a hot mess. But that's what I love about those tips. So this brand is called Super Tight. I want to say this is linked below for you guys as well. This is the glue that Ashley likes, the Precision Craft Glue. I think she helped make this too. And then another one that I like, let me get this glue off my hands, is the double-sided tape guns. Now they have these at like the Dollar Tree, so you can get like the little tiny ones from the Dollar Tree. They're honestly not the best, you guys. If you're doing a lot of paper crafting, you need to invest in a good double-sided adhesive dispenser. This is the Teresa Collins Xyron, I may be saying that wrong, Xyron Mega Runner. This is such a good little tape gun, but honestly, just look at the reviews whenever you get onto Amazon. Look at the reviews and see which ones have good reviews, what they're saying about it, and get one that is going to be worth your money. They're not like insanely expensive, but I feel like normal people wouldn't just have a tape runner sitting around. So if you're going to be crafting with paper, you do want to invest in something like this. It's just super helpful. And then we've got some double-sided foam tape. This is just a skinny roll of super thin foam tape. And this is super handy for making your cards a little bit more dimensional, and it just makes it look that much better. Okay, now the last thing that you're gonna need to create these beautiful cards, new blade, fresh blade. That is like the key to making sure that these cut really well. Now I have some premium blades here I'm gonna be putting into our Explore machine. These look like this. So when you pull them out, they look a little weird, just like this. All you have to do is pull this little white tip off, okay? And then the blade is on that side. So this is not the blade. A lot of times people are like, that's not working, that's not the blade. This is the blade, it's silver. And we're just going to take our fine point housing, and I'm gonna push this button, and you can take some tweezers.
Or your fingers.
I can't get it with my fingers, Lauren. I can't get it.
What do you mean you can't get it with your fingers?
I always have to use tweezers. I can't grab it with my fingers. I can't.
Oh.
It's like too little. I don't know why. Okay, and then you just pop it back in. There you go. Beautiful. Okay, she's fresh. We have officially put our fresh blade in, and that's just like a standard fine point blade. So let's get a new, we're gonna go into Cricut Design Space, we're gonna get a new canvas, and we are going to go to Maker's Gonna Learn website. Okay, so I've got a new canvas open in Design Space. I'm going to go over here, and we are gonna go get our card files that we're wanting to use. Okay, so we're gonna go to Cut Files. And like I said before, we've already linked these below, but if you want to come on here and look for some more, you can. You can look through by just searching cards. This card is actually titled Love, And this is the one we're gonna be doing. So I am going to download this. It's gonna go into a zip folder. And then we're going to click on that zip folder, which is going to open it. Now, if you don't see that zip folder up there in your recent downloads, go to your File Explorer if you're using a PC, or your Finder if you're using a Mac, and go to your downloads, and then you'll have to double click on the folder, or you'll have to right click and extract if you're using a PC. And then it will turn into its own little folder. You'll have to click on that again to open it, and you can see the SVG is right here. So what I'm gonna do is keep this open, and then I'm going to go back to Cricut. I'm gonna open it up. And then on the left side, we're gonna go to upload. And then from there, we're gonna click upload image. And then this is where you can click browse and pull your image in, or you can open up your Finder because we still had it open, right? And I can just click and drag. So I can just drag it right over from the folder, and we're just gonna click upload or continue, sorry, and then upload. Okay, so this card comes in at a 5x6. You could maybe make it a little bit smaller if you wanted to, but this is just a standard card size. And
Does it come in 5x6 or 5x7?
Well, 6.9, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 5x7. I would not recommend going much smaller because all those cuts are gonna be like crazy.
Y'all, first of all, these cuts are beautiful. On a card, these cuts are beautiful.
Yes.
These cuts would not be possible any smaller than what this is.
No, no way. So we're gonna just keep it the size that it is. Now, what I'm gonna do next is I need to create my card base. So it needs to be double the width and equal to the height of the front piece. So double the width would be 10.02 inches technically. So I'm just gonna go get a shape, and we're gonna go grab a rectangle. Okay, so just pull your rectangle over here. I'm going to unlock my shape. So up here is a little size box, and right now it's 2x2. If I change this while that lock is open, or I'm sorry, if I change this while that lock is closed and I put 5 and then tab over, hit the tab key, it's gonna automatically change the height to 5. So when it's locked, it just adjusts proportionally to whatever it comes in as. So if it comes in at the same number, it's gonna adjust to the same number. So what I like to do is unlock it, and then I'm gonna change my width to 10, because that is double the size of this piece. So 10 is gonna be our width, and our height is gonna be the same as the height of this piece. So 6.9, we're just gonna round it up to 7. Okay, and then you have your card base. So this is our front piece. I'm gonna change it to pink, just so you guys can see. And then this is our front piece, this is our card base, okay? I'm gonna change the canvas color to a different color. If you guys did not know this, you can, I'm gonna show you 2 tricks. You can change your blank canvas right here by clicking on this, and it looks like it didn't do anything, but if you look up here, it looks totally different. And then there's a color drop down menu. You can actually change the color of your canvas as you're working. If you want to do that, you can have that option to whatever color you want. You can even do advanced, and I don't know, it's your life, you know, you can do whatever you want. So I'm just gonna change it to gray. And then another thing you can do, if you want grid lines, you can come up here in this little square and hit the square, and it's gonna give you 3 different options, which I think is really cool. I like it blank most of the time though, personally. Okay, so we're gonna bring this to the front, double check your sizing, looking pretty good. Now we do need to add a score line down the middle of our card. So in your basic shapes, up here on the top left, there is a score line. I'm gonna select that line, and we're gonna make it the same height as the card, which is 6 inches. So hit the 6 key. And then 7, sorry. I just did it and I already forgot, you guys. 7 inches in height, not 6. Okay, so you got your score line and your base. We're going to click and drag to select the base of the card and the score line, and I'm going to align up here on the top in the middle and then center. Okay. Now, that can't be it because we need to tell Cricut, hey, I need you to attach that score line to the middle of your card. Like we need to tell Cricut exactly where to score it. So while the line and the square are selected, so you can see and know for sure that they're connected over here in our layers panel. So you've got the line and then you have the square and we need to attach them, okay? Now they're all together. Cricut's like, hey, I'm gonna put a score line right there on that card and it's gonna be perfect. And then we've got our little guy over here, okay? So that's it for Design Space. Now we need to start cutting. It's going to take a minute to cut. Obviously setting it up in Design Space does not take long at all. So I am putting on our color for our love, and now I'm going to take this down. I'm just going to put a couple little pieces of tape on.
You having trust issues today?
Yeah, maybe I am. This file is like a little stressful, you know?
Girl, I live my life with trust issues every single day.
Every day.
My eyes can see it and I still don't trust it.
Oh man, that's funny. Okay, so we got everything that we need to start cutting. So I'm using the Explore 3 and then I'm gonna go to Make It. I'm gonna save my project as Love Card and I'm gonna hit save. Okay. So this is the card piece, and then this is our flower piece. But for some reason, these little bits and bobs right here are not wanting to stay connected. So we are gonna go, oh, we didn't even use those. We need to fix, look, I want you guys to see what this looks like. So we don't even use those little bits up there, which is where those came from. So we're gonna fix that file, but I'm just gonna get rid of those. If you wanna ever get rid of anything on your, like, what am I trying to say, your mat, select anything that you don't want, and then you can hit these 3 dots and hit hide selected. And then so we're just left with this, right? I'm gonna go back and make sure that this file is welded together, because I'm feeling like maybe it's not. So what I'm gonna do is select the card and we're gonna go to Combine and Weld. And now we should be good. Now I feel better. Okay, let's go back to the Make It screen. And here's our little image. And then there's our card. So we've already got the pink down, so we're gonna cut it first, okay? So we've got our pink down. Now, I taped it because I just wanna make sure it doesn't move. I do not want this to move anywhere. When I go to continue, we're going to talk about cut settings. So there are lots of different cut settings for paper. You can use medium cardstock. If you're just cutting like a standard Celebration Warehouse cardstock, medium weight, the medium cardstock cut setting is what you want to use. But whenever you start to get into these intricate cuts, there actually is a cut setting for cutting things like this on your Cricut, and it's called Intricate Cuts. So we're gonna connect to our Cricut, and then, you guys, we are connected. Okay, we're gonna go to Browse on Materials, and we're gonna select Intricate.
Somebody says it's a Sage Color Maker 4. If that's the case,
Buy it.
Take my money right now.
Yeah, I love that. That'll be so cute. Okay, cardstock for intricate cuts. That's what we're cutting with. We've got a brand new fine point blade. I put it in on camera, you guys saw me. And we are gonna cut this baby. Okay. Slide it on in. Ooh, it looks so pretty. Like, this is what I was talking about in the beginning. If you guys may not have heard me because it was in the very beginning, but this is the type of projects that you can let run while you're working on something. So you could even use this entire sheet of cardstock and put like 3 or 4 cards on it, like maybe 2 smaller cards and 2 big cards, and just let your machine kind of cut while you're working on things. And then you can have these cards ready to go whenever you need them. Also, you don't have to do it in so much detail. Like you can do much simpler designs and things like that. Like I said, the one we're cutting today is this one, so it's very intricate. I mean, this one's pretty intricate too, but not nearly as much as this one. This one either. And then where's my little purple one? We had like a little tiny purple one. It was so cute. Anyways, there's lots of options on the website and the links. Oh, here's the purple one. This one would be super easy to cut out. You could even do a bunch with just this on the side and do a bunch of different colors. So they're kind of generic. They don't like have thank you or Mr. and Mrs. on them. This is just something generic that we could do. So, love that. Okay, we have officially cut this thing, y'all. We made it. I am just taking the paper off of here before I take it off of the mat. Now, you don't want to come in here and just pull this paper up because, well, I just ripped it right there. But you don't want to pull the paper up quickly. If you do have tape on there, be super careful not to tear it. But what I'm going to do is flip this over. Okay, and we're gonna do what we call going with gravity. And I'm just gonna hold this up. And sometimes if you've got like a Cricut spatula, you can come in here and kind of wiggle all this loose very slowly. Like we're not trying to hurry and do this. You don't wanna be too aggressive when you're pulling it off because it'll tear. And it can bend. So, and then try not to break your mat too. The spatula really is the kicker here for me. And then there's gonna be lots of like little messy pieces. We'll poke out any pieces that kind of stuck, but it looks like it cut really fairly well.
Okay, so obviously there is a Reddit thread. Listen, if y'all ever see me not working on this channel and you need a private investigator, just know that's probably what I'll be doing.
If something needs to be investigated, Lauren's gonna go figure it out. Okay, so here's our piece. Oh, look how good it looks. Here, let me move all this stuff. Look how pretty. Okay, now we need to do our card part. Now this is the part where you're gonna need to bring in your scoring stylus. I'm gonna slide this over and we're going to put our scoring stylus into our Cricut, okay? So you just take this little stylus and you open up clamp A. We're gonna pop this in and then I'm going to clamp it shut. Now, with your mat, if you get all these little bits and pieces all over it, take a spatula or a burnishing tool. A spatula works better than a burnishing tool, but you can just scrape all of this off, like so. We used to have this Cricut burnishing tool that was like really skinny on one side, and it was my favorite. It would get everything off in like one swoop.
Oh, the Maker's Gonna Learn one?
No. Well, yeah, that one would work. But no, it was like a Cricut brand one, an old one. But this has so many little pieces on it.
Ooh. Ooh, do you want me to just get you a new mat?
You can't.
Let me just, here's one.
Why are there so many? I don't even feel like there's that many cuts on that. Oh, beautiful. Okay. Look, wow, it's so clean. Okay. I'm gonna take my card base and we're gonna burnish this on. And then let's go back to Design Space because I want to show you all something. So whenever you initially put this in, sometimes it will default if you're using a tool with adaptive, if you're using a Cricut with adaptive tools such as the Maker Series, you can change this to the scoring stylus. We prefer the stylus whenever we're working with cardstock because you can have the fine point blade as well as the stylus in at the same time. If you wanted to put the scoring wheel in here or even the double scoring wheel, it has to go on this side, which is normally where the fine point blade would go. And so because this is the only slot that accepts adaptive tools, which is what those scoring wheels are. So I like to just use the scoring stylus and then you don't even have to worry about it. So now we can load this in. And then for material cut settings, I currently have it set to cardstock for intricate cuts, but I want to change that. So I'm just going to click on the name and I'm going to change this to glitter cardstock. And then I'm gonna have to change my tool back to my scoring stylus. Now, sometimes with glitter cardstock, it wants to use the double scoring wheel because it is kind of thicker. It's got more layers to go through because there's glitter. But for this case, it's fine. I normally do it this way personally. Okay, I am taking this skinny tape and I am just making it about the width and height of the card. Okay, so I want to show you all what I've got so far. You see? And then I'm going to take some of this skinny tape and I'm going to put it on the backs of my letters. Not all the letters, like not the whole letter, if that makes sense, but like on the V shape. And now, if you wanted to do this flat, I would recommend, like if you didn't want to have any of this dimensional look to it, you could just go in with the precision tip glue and put glue on all these little lines. Or you could also use the zig pin for that. And then for the border, you could use this double-sided adhesive gun. So that is going to be up to you all. But I'm just going to add some of these little pieces of vinyl here, or I'm sorry, a foam tape here. I keep saying the wrong word today. What's my problem?
Words are hard sometimes.
Sometimes they are. So I'm just using all these little pieces. We just want it to all kind of be on the same level. So that's why you don't want to just let them float, you know. And then I want each of the letters to have some amount of foam on them. So even on the O, I'm just adding these little pieces for stability. And the more you add, the more stable it is. Okay. And then you've got to take off, and I use reverse tweezers for this a lot, to take off this top peel, because it's double-sided foam tape, right? So you've got to take off that top one after you attach it. Okay, I'm gonna pull this card off. Oh my, I got stuck. I'm gonna pull this card off my mat. Make sure that whenever you guys pull this off, you go with gravity. Okay, so we don't want it to get all bendy and weird. Also use the grippiest mat of my entire life right there. Okay, and then we're just going to fold in half. Okay, this is the completed card. Ooh, the glitter looks good. Look how pretty.
I want to see this.
So pretty.
Stop it.
I feel like we spent a lot of time cutting today, but y'all, it doesn't take that long to make these. You know what I mean?
Stop it. That is so pretty.
Yeah, with the glitter behind it, I love it.
I love that.
Love, love.
Love, love. We all love love.
I used to wear